Ronitska, and I am the owner of SowtheSeedStationery, here to encourage and inspire other women to live a spirit-led life with an organized mind. And I'm so excited to start this new mini series where I am going to just walk you through my own process of diligence and faith, goal setting, prayer, and executing the things I want to accomplish. If you don't know already, when I started SowtheSeedStationery, I started with just selling digital products on Etsy, and then at November of 2023, I sold my first physical product. And in between all that, there was a lot of humps and milestones I had to get through before I even got to that point. And so many things I had to learn along the way. And then the beginning of 2024, SowtheSeedStationery, I really just took off with our brand identity, mission, the vision, and all the things. And then we also started to grow our product line, where now we have over, I believe, 70 products between stickers, planners, pens, highlighters. We'll start to do in-person events. We have grown online. We have grown our Etsy shop to over 800 sales. Again, none of these things came quick, nor did they come easy. There was so many things I had to learn, so many things I had to put down so that I could dedicate time to SowtheSeedStationery, to learning about Etsy, to learning about handmade products. And starting a faith-based business was something God really led me to do. And so I started from zero everywhere on our platforms, like our Instagram, the YouTube, Etsy. And the way we have grown in the last year has been so amazing, and literally just such a testimony of how God has been faithful through this whole process. But there's also a lot of things I've had to do along the way, and ways I've had to show up for myself and my business. So currently, right now, I'm actually working on a website for SowtheSeedStationery. We are still keeping our Etsy shop because she is great, she is awesome, and we're just also opening a different online store to have a more personalized look, to have a more branded look, and also to just have another outlet where SowtheSeedStationery can grow. Being on one platform is really great, but I also just want to venture out and see what else I can do. And because I really enjoy SEO, which is search engine optimization, I really want to see what I can do and continue to learn and apply these things to both sites. The difference between Etsy and this new platform I'm going to be working on is that Etsy is very much plug and play, where you have this outlined template for you. It is the Etsy look, and then you can customize that in itself as just by your banner, your profile pictures, the way your product photos are, all of those things. We are now leveling up a little bit, growing a little bit, and going to make a full personalized branded page dedicated to SowtheSeedStationery. So it's going to be like, it's just going to be really nice, really good. And I want to take you along this journey to just share some tips and tricks, some things that I do to just accomplish the things that are on my heart, that I feel like I'm set out to do, and how you can apply these things yourself to just accomplish your own goals and things that you want to do. So again, there was a lot of learning that I had to do on my end to start my Etsy, to start handmade products, and to get to where I am now in my Etsy shop and with SowtheSeedStationery. So during that in-between time where I was just learning all of these things, and so really of 2023, that's when I found the online membership I have mentioned in previous videos that I'm a part of. And I would say that's when I really started to just take myself seriously. I think being on the membership, finding online resources, and just really absorbing information. During this time, I also still lacked confidence in myself, confidence, I believe, towards the Lord, and just because I could not see this the way I feel like God saw it, and he was showing me how it would be. So I think when we go through that, we also go through a time of lacking, where we're not really doing all that we could. We're not dedicating all the time that we probably also could, and we're just not pushing hard enough through those blocks. So one of the first things I started to do to really help me over these self-doubts and lack of confidence was, of course, get into prayer, pull out my word, and I started to look up just scriptures on diligence. And every day for a while, I would read and meditate on these scriptures on diligence. I would write them down. I have so many in one of my notebooks, and I would just really start to feel like the conviction. And of course, it's also nice to have people who love and support you somewhere, and someone that you can, be held accountable to. Like, the conviction of the word is just so helpful. It is the best place you could start. So on the screen, I'm gonna share some scriptures that really helped me to just feel that conviction to not give up, to try harder, and to just push through and really just become diligent over the things I believed I was meant to do. Another point I want to get into is researching but not getting stuck. So I have done this for both personal and business, where we just look up all the how-tos, but don't apply them because we're just so focused on trying to figure it out. And I think there's no better way to learn than hands-on. I know for me, I'm a visual, hands-on kind of learner, and that definitely comes with its pros and cons. There's been so many times where I have just ordered things or materials that I believed I needed for something I was trying to do, and then I ask questions later, and then while I'm doing it, I learn my lesson. So it's great, and it also has its bumps as well. But that's how I feel like you could learn the best, is applying things as you're learning them. I'm going to use the website as an example throughout this series. So since this was something I knew I wanted to start and launch a website the beginning of 2025, started with researching what would be the best next platform to go on as a small business. Then in that, I also found that an e-commerce site and a place where you can just build a website are two different things. So I had to make sure that I was finding a place that is more e-commerce and meant for selling, and not just somewhere I can build a website and sell, because there's just a big difference in how things can work, especially when you're trying to sell products. The same thing for my Etsy. I had to just learn the platform, learn how I could stand out from other shops that are on Etsy, other shops that might have similar things as me, or standing out on Etsy in general. And again, really learning to optimize my listings on there. But for now, we're gonna stick with the layout. So the first step to that is learning the platform. Every day, dedicate some time to be on YouTube. To me, YouTube is your best resource. There is so much free information out there on, I feel like, almost anything you want to do or learn. I have learned Adobe InDesign on YouTube. There are full-blown free masterclasses. Learned Canva tips and tricks on YouTube. I have learned a lot of handmade tips and tricks on YouTube as well. Definitely start with your free resources. You can find things on Pinterest. I have found so many free templates on there for so many different things. You can, again, that YouTube University, there's so much out there that you can just, if you dedicate some time to it, you can learn on your own. I have learned so many machines and things like that on there. And content, type in on Instagram, TikTok, maybe certain things, find people who do something that you're interested in doing, and see kind of how they have learned, or how they, create things in their content. So since I'm a handmade business, I'm always looking for other handmade businesses and see if I can learn something, how they make corners, maybe how they cut a corner easier than maybe how I'm cutting a corner. It's really important that you don't get stuck in the research phase because it's very easy to do that. Something I really like to do is just apply while I'm learning, see if it works for me, and if it doesn't work for me. Right now, since I'm using this website as an example, things I've started with, again, learning the platform, so just watching videos about Shopify, how it works, the logistics of the back end things, how I can upload products, how I can optimize SEO on there, just breaking it down into small steps because it can be very overwhelming to think of what you're trying to accomplish as a whole. And something I have learned is that small steps get you to the big steps. So the big step is the full vision of the website, but small steps is just taking care of one section of the website. Another thing that really helps to not get stuck in that research phase is creating a time frame. So I like to outline a lot. Sometimes I know for sure, okay, I want to record a video this day, or I want to post something this day and I need to edit that day. So for certain things you will have like dedicated dates, but other things just create a timeline. So for me, I know that I wanted to launch the website most likely early March, nothing past March. And that was the end of 2024. That was just me time framing. Then January, I started to get more ideas for what I wanted for the website and, thinking of just all the things I wanted to do for the year. So when would be the best time to launch? And now February has become the dedicated time to really execute and work on the website. So that has allowed me to come up with a launch date and come up with a launch strategy. Okay to just set a time frame and start to fill in the blanks little by little. Okay. Another thing that has really helped me along the way and that I still do now and currently doing is time blocking. So just figuring out dedicated times that work for you and really holding yourself accountable to that time. You want to spend 1 hour a day on something, or whether it's your business, whether it's a personal mission, you have to really figure out what works best for you and what that dedicated block of time can be in your day-to-day. You can always, of course, dedicate more time to this project or whatever it is that you're working on outside of that time block, but just making that time block a non-negotiable where you just sit down, whether it's 30 minutes to an hour, and you work on this thing. If you have extra time in your day, or if you stay up later at night and you decide to work on it, then that's just a bonus. But making sure that you actually hold yourself accountable to dedicating time. On the next slide, I'm going to just put some questions to ask yourself, some things to journal about or reflect on that may be holding you back, where you might feel stuck at. And let me know down below what something you really feel your heart set on to do and some struggles you may be having to accomplish those things. And look out for part 2 of this series where we will get into planning and how you can really build out in small ways to get to your big goals.